The goddess Artemis in Greek mythology is known as the goddess of virginity, hunting, wild animals, and the moon. She was considered the sister of the god Apollo and the daughter of Zeus and Leto. Artemis was depicted as a young girl, usually wearing hunting-style clothing, carrying a bow and arrow, and holding a moon in her hands. She was often associated with nature, especially forests and mountains, and was considered the protector of animals and women in childbirth. Artemis was also known for her vengeful and unpredictable actions against those who insulted her or violated her sacred principles. Poseidon is the great ancient Greek god of the seas, water, elements, and earthquakes. He was one of the three great gods of Olympus, brother of Zeus and Hades. Poseidon was often depicted with a trident, a symbol of his power over the depths of the sea, ruling the waves and weather patterns. Poseidon was often associated with equestrian competitions and was the patron saint of seafarers and fishermen. His character was fiery and powerful, but he was also compassionate and protected his followers from the dangers of the sea. According to mythology, Poseidon was the father of many famous creatures such as Pegasus, centaurs, and cyclopes. His cult was widespread in ancient Greece, and many cities and seaports honored him as their patron. The god Poseidon played an important role in Greek mythology and was a symbol of power and authority over the sea and its forces. Demeter is the ancient Greek goddess of harvest, farming, fertility, and agriculture. She is also the goddess of fertile land and vegetation. Demeter is often depicted with a sheaf of grain or ears in her hands, and with a basket of fruit. Her cult was widespread in ancient Greece, and her festival, the Eleusinian Mysteries, was one of the most famous and revered in the ancient world. Demeter was also known as the mother goddess, protector of family and children. Her daughter Persephone was kidnapped by Hades, the god of the underworld, causing Demeter to fall into deep sorrow and refuse to produce crops. This myth explains the changing of the seasons and the cycles of nature. Hades, or Hadesonius, was the ancient Greek god of the world of the dead and the underworld, also called Hades. He was the brother of Zeus and Poseidon, and together they divided the world between them. Zeus became ruler of heaven and earth, Poseidon of the seas, and Hades of the underworld. Hades was known as the god who ruled over the dead and had power over their fates. Hades was portrayed as a dark and cruel god who did not tolerate disobedience and punished the souls of the dead for their sins. He is the god of underground riches, as his realm contained precious metals and stones. In mythology, Hades was often associated with Chiron, the boatman who transported the souls of the dead across the river Styx to the gates of the underworld. Hades was also known for his wife, the goddess Persephone, who was kidnapped by him and became queen of the underworld. Overall, Hades was one of the darkest and most mysterious gods of Greek mythology, symbolizing the world of the dead and the afterlife. Hestia is the ancient Greek goddess of the home, family, hearth, and fertility. She is often depicted as a woman holding a fire in her hands, symbolizing the home and family well-being. Hestia is also often associated with hospitality and the protection of the home. Her cult was widespread in ancient Greece, and sacrifices and prayers were offered to her in the hope of protection and blessing for one's home and family.